Hello everybody, so I'm continuing my Pink Floyd reviews with their second studio album, Saucerful of Secrets. So this was released in June of 1968, and of course I do have it on CD. I also have it on that cassette tape compilation called A Nice Pair, which also combines the previous album, Piper of the Gates of Dawn, which I showed in my review of that album. So this was a transitional album in Pink Floyd's career, as it's the album where David Gilmour joins the band and Syd Barrett leaves the band. Now, Syd Barrett only appears on a couple of tracks on this album, which Jug Band Blues being one of them. But yeah, we'll get to that. And to me, I think this is actually one of my favourite Pink Floyd albums. Like, to me, this album, I don't think it gets enough love. Like, I think it's kind of, a lot of Pink Floyd fans have said this is one of their Pink Floyd's weaker albums, but I love it. So we're gonna go through the track listing now. So it opens with "Let There Be More Light," which is a great song, great Roger Waters track. And then we get "Remember a Day," another great song, which is a Richard Wright track. Now this song, "Remember a Day," was actually recorded during the Piper of the Gates of Dawn sessions, but it ended up on this album. So yeah, Syd Barrett does appear on this track on guitar, but yeah, he doesn't sing on this one though. It's Richard Wright sings on this one. And then we get "Set the Controls of the Heart of the Sun," another really good track. And then we get one of my favourites, which a lot of Pink Floyd fans really hate this song, "Corporal Clegg." But I love Corporal Clegg. You know, it's kind of like it's just such a great psychedelic track. It's got sort of like childish, lyrics, but it is silly, but it's good fun as well. It's really psychedelic. It's got great guitar riff on it. And then we get the title track, "A Saucerful of Secrets," which, in my opinion, is the weakest track on the album. You know, it's a long instrumental, which, I just don't care for it. So it's the only track on the album I skip over. I personally think they should have included, was it Apples and Oranges? Yeah, I think they should have included the Syd Barrett single, Apples and Oranges, on here. But, but this is... I mean, they could still call the album "Saucerful of Secrets" without its title track. Led Zeppelin did that with "Houses of the Holy." Queen did it with "Sheer Heart Attack." So, and then we get "Seesaw," which, another one of my favourite tracks on here. It's a Richard Wright track, and it's such a beautiful psychedelic track. And then it ends with "Jug Band Blues," which is the last song that Syd Barrett did for Pink Floyd. So this is the only song on the album that he actually sings on. And yeah, probably I'd say it's the best track on the album. It's very different to... I mean, when it starts off, it's very similar to his more like silly, like innocent lyrics, but then the lyrics kind of get more towards it, sort of like changes, and then the lyrics at the end are kind of a lot more sad, realistic, because in this song he's actually very aware of what's happening to him. He knew that his days in the band were numbered. But yeah, such a great track to end this album on. So yeah, so I really love this album, and I think it's extremely underrated. I'm going to give this a 9. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoy this a lot. Not as much as Piper of the Gates of Dawn, but I still enjoy this a whole lot. I mean, it feels like a continuation of Piper of the Gates of Dawn, but it is transitional. It feels like it feels like a continuation of Piper of the Gates of Dawn, but at the same time, there's also like hints of what they would go on to do much later. So yeah, great album, and I hope you enjoyed my review. And my next review will be on the soundtrack to the film More. So until then, take care.